Hello and welcome back to Every Way Woman. Now ladies, after I was reading that article, I also got to thinking too, I read another article about how beautiful women are not taken seriously in the workplace. Now we're supposed to work hard so we can afford all these expensive creams and all these expensive clothes, but then once we get to work in them, we're not taken seriously.
Well, I think a lot of times attractive people, contrary to that article, a lot of times attractive people are more likely to get the job in the first place. So maybe they're not taken as seriously, but someone who's not attractive wouldn't have gotten the job to be there to be taken seriously or not taken seriously. But I understand your point. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's happened to me a lot. Like I'll come across a lot of men who, you know, originally when they approach me, they're like, hey, let's talk business. Let's exchange numbers. We'll talk business. And then they call me like, hey, you know, you're really pretty. You think maybe we could go out on a date? And it's like, wait a minute. I wanted to talk business with you. So I think sometimes, you know, it's difficult being a woman in the workplace.
Yeah, it might be a little bit different for me. I think, Natasha, when you started, you said, well, we're supposed to buy these expensive clothes and have expensive. And you know, everybody that knows me knows that I dress down during the workday. I'm in my jeans and whatever, you know. And I guess I can do that as running, you know, a production company and all of that. But I don't know that we necessarily have to buy expensive clothes and have to, you know, be totally dolled up all the time.
You still do have to look good though.
Yeah,
because there's a line like the lady who was working for Citibank and she got fired supposedly for being too beautiful. Now she also paid a lot of money for plastic surgery and everything, so kind of like was that a catch-22? Because like you said, you know, a lot of times they won't hire you unless you look good. But then,
and they say attractive people make more money. So,
but who wants to only have a job for 3 months and you have to keep changing jobs?
To me, it seems a little unfair, I think, maybe to some men in the workplace, you know, because if women are going to go ahead and get plastic surgery and extend the, you know, and do all of that, and then a man notices, you know, and then they get mad. You know, I don't know. I think they may be putting that on themselves a little bit. You know, I was listening to the radio the other day, and they were talking about I forget who I was listening to, but they were talking about these women in New York who would walk by the construction sites every day, and they get cat calls, you know, and someone would be like, oh, how dare you, you know, why are you whistling at me, you know, they get all mad and indignant, and I don't understand that, because they're in their high heels, they're in their short skirts, they're in whatever.
Right. I mean, everybody knows when they walk by a construction site
and I always was indignant. I always hated it when guys at construction sites would call. I didn't walk by because I was trying to walk by. Because you're trying to get somewhere and you have to walk past there.
I agree with you on that one, Charlotte, because that's the thing. It's like men think just because we look at them, just because we're in the same room with them, we want to be with them.
What got me about that story with the cat calls and all that is that one of the women that said, oh yeah, I get that every day, and you know what I do? I stop, I look at them, and I say, thank you for noticing that I dressed up today. And I was like, that's class. You know?
That's
if
flattering.
People are going to be classless to you, you know, wolf calls or cat calls and saying nasty things, if they say nasty things, you turn around and you be classy back. But don't get mad because you did do your hair, you did do your makeup, you did do your clothes that somebody notices. You know?
Do it for a purpose. This is how I see it anyway. My husband says, oh, well, you know, my daughter, Kayla, who's 23, almost 24, she goes out and she gets all dressed up in this and that. But usually you're getting dressed up for a person. You're getting dressed up for your date to look really pretty and sexy. But my husband says, oh, well, she's getting dressed up. Of course all the guys are going to react. She's not there for those other guys. She's there for her date.
And then the other thing, too, is as a woman, if you go around and you look frumpy all the time and you don't look good, then they're going to be like, well, you need to look good for men, or that, why don't you look good? Why don't you dress up? So, you know, where is that? What
they
is
judge
it that
you
we're
more
supposed to
because
do?
men, they say, are more visual, so they're tending to judge women more
you know,
based
I think,
on
you know, it's the same thing.
appearance.
You know, us as women, I don't think any of us would ever want to be with a man who just had hair that was uncombed and clothes that were just wrinkled and dirty. I mean, we would want an attractive man as well. So
there's definitely plenty to be said about, you know, taking care of yourself and looking good and doing your hair and makeup and all of that, you know. But I think oftentimes it really has to do with what's inside of a person, you know, because I don't know. Maybe sometimes I'm frumpy. I don't know. I wear jeans and T-shirts sometimes and that kind of thing.
You're naturally gorgeous. Whatever you do.
You know, but it's about how comfortable you are inside.
Well, thank you, ladies. All right, come back. We'll be right back after the break.